breaking news.
At this point, we know 3 deputies shot in Lake County. 2 of them have been rushed to the hospital there in Sanford, Florida.
And we are not sure exactly tonight how that 3rd deputy is doing, but we do know that the shooter is still on the run. This is all going down in Eustis, right near State Road 44 and County Road 439. That area is blocked off, and the search is on for the gunman. We've been talking to a neighbor who lives right near the scene. His name is Jim Ironhorse, and he's joining us live tonight. Mr. Ironhorse, thank you so much for being with us. We understand that you live right across the street from where this shooting happened. Can you tell us what you saw and what you heard tonight?
This started about an hour and a half ago. We were sitting here watching TV on the deck. There was multiple gunshots coming from across the street. It started out with 9mm and then went full auto, which is not a usual thing out here. There's always gunfire out here. It's a very rural area. But at one point, it didn't sound right. There was an exchange of gunfire and then a lot of cops.
Hey,
There
Jim.
are probably 25 to 30 across the street still right now. The SWAT team is across the street. I can see them from here. There were 2 shots fired about 15, 20 minutes ago. Don't know what came of that, but that was right across the street.
So, Jim, this area where we're talking about, well, like we said, this is very rural. You're up around the, I believe, the Lake Norris area there, the conservation area. So I know they're saying for you guys to stay inside. Can you describe the area where the police are looking for this suspect right now?
On my side of the road, I have 7 acres, and that's pretty standard on this side of the road. On the opposite side of the road from me are single-family homes on probably a half acre, 3/4 of an acre. And then behind that is another row of single-family homes. The row behind it, I believe, is where it all started. That's where we heard the gunfire come from. And like I said, that's when the cops started coming down Brookside and 439, and they swamped the place real fast.
Have deputies been to your house tonight? Have they told you anything about what's going on?
No, ma'am. No, my neighbor across the street, Wanda, they have been in contact with her, and she's texted me to warn me that they were looking for somebody.
You know, Jim, I don't want to put you on the spot here because you're living around these people, but was there any indication that something was going on in your neighborhood to bring this many deputies in there?
No, sir. No, sir. No, I've been here 25 years. It's the first time something like this has happened. There was an incident down the road in Orlando Hills where a deputy was shot, but that was about 20 years ago.
Well, how are you feeling right now? Yeah, it's got to be pretty nervous to have all those deputies there. You have a gunman on the run. Are you inside your home? Did you lock the doors? I mean, I'd be a little bit frightened right now.
Ma'am, I'm a tactics and weapons instructor.
Okay. You have nothing to fear, huh?
Well, Jim, I was wondering how you knew the gunfire you heard there, but I find it interesting. You said so. The first gunshots happened around 9:30. You said an hour and a half ago, but then more about 15 minutes later. That would be unusual for them to be that far apart if something wasn't going on there, don't you think?
That's correct. That's why I say the SWAT team is directly across the street from me. My neighbor Justin's house is surrounded. My neighbor Wanda's house, they've been all around that one, and they've moved on to the 3rd one in that row. But they're still pretty active over there.
So you're a gun expert. You said you heard 2 types of weapons. What does that tell you what happened tonight?
There was something wrong. It's like I say, it is quite usual to hear gunfire around here. I have a 2-position gun range in my backyard. Many of my neighbors, they have gun ranges behind their houses, and it's not unusual. What was unusual was the mix of 9mm fire and then fully automatic weapons going off, and quite a few of them.
You know, Jim, I think our producer said that you're on the porch or at least outside. Can you turn your camera around so that we can see your vantage point and just how close the police officers are to you? I see you moving around there. So, yeah, give us an idea of what we're looking at here, and explain while we were looking at it, please.
Can you all see that?
Yeah, we see it.
Is that Brookside there?
Brookside would be up by those red lights over there.
And those blue flashing lights, those are all the deputy squad cars, correct?
Nope, that is a deputy's tractor trailer with what looks like ATVs on it.
Oh,
The
they have
deputy
ATVs.
SWAT team. The deputy SWAT team is in front of them. And like I say, there have been incoming for the last hour and a half. Incoming, I don't know how many.
So if you could,
they-
sir, can you explain to us kind of that area? Like if they're searching for this suspect, it sounds like there could be quite a few areas for them to hide. How big is that wooded preserve you said that's near your house?
If they get behind the second row of houses, it's quite wooded. It's, I would say, 50 to 100 acres behind there. The houses across the street line all the way up to Mill Creek Road, and that wouldn't be too bad for them. There is a dirt road that cuts back that way. And then, like I say, the dirt road behind 439 here, parallel to 439, runs right into Orlando Hills.
So we know
Which
the
is a
deputies are
development.
out there. We
Yeah.
know the ATVs are out there. Have you seen a helicopter in the sky? I'm assuming they will probably fly that and use the night vision to try and find the suspect as well at some point.
I thought they would too, but I guess the weather is holding them down. No, we have not seen the helicopter yet.
You know, Jim, we're looking at some live views here. I don't know if you can see these if you have a TV on, but we also see the media staging area where all the police officers are. One thing that, that kind of stood out to us is they took the deputies to the hospital in Sanford. Is that the closest hospital to you way out in this rural area?
Well, I don't want to get political about it. No, it's not. I would have thought they would have taken them to Waterman, but again, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know why they would do
Just
that.
curious why they would make that trip when you're out there in Lake County. So again, this has got to be, it's got to be a little unnerving though. I know you're a weapons expert, but it's dark out there. There's a guy who at least took some shots at deputies, it sounds like. This is not going to be a very peaceful night for you, Jim.
No, I don't think it will be. But it is what it is.
Well, we really appreciate you taking some time to speak with us. Again, you've been hearing from Jim Ironhorse, who is a neighbor out there where this shooting happened. Sir, thank you so much for being with us and sharing what you saw and heard tonight. We really do appreciate it.
You all stay safe out there.
Thank you.
And
You
too, Jim. Yeah.